Right, we're recording.
1 + 1 don't equal 3.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Are you paying attention? You're saying on your phone.
I am
How are you
focused
today?
and locked in. I am fantastic. USA.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that.
USA.
So before we started recording, we were talking about school lunches with the children.
Yes.
Because we are nice parents. Like, I'm trying to think. Growing up, I can't recall. I feel like I had lunch money sometimes.
Aaron, you had lunch money. Growing up, I did not. You did.
But the problem is we had gross lunch most of the time, like in Detroit. So I don't remember eating.
You said you used to pocket the money.
Yes, because we had a Coney Island. I can't remember elementary school that much. But I remember middle school. There's a Coney Island. I used to walk home from school every day. So there's a Coney Island that we walk past. So we would pocket money sometimes so that we can go to the Coney Island after school and buy like fries and like chicken wings.
But what did you eat for lunch then?
I think we just skipped lunch.
You just skipped lunch.
Like our kids do. Right. They just skip lunch.
Buy cookies and skip lunch. Yes.
Yes. But bag lunch, maybe I had a bag lunch sometimes, but I just feel like
we were 100% bag lunch. It was absolutely rare, and with my own money if we bought anything.
But also it was cheap. It was like $1. It was like $1 or $2
for school lunch.
Oh, I think they're like up to $5 for a meal if you get it.
And we have 4 kids.
But we do extra entrees for, like, if we get pizza, we give them extra, like, for the pizza.
Right. You have a Coke can on the edge of the bed right now, and I feel like that is a very risky choice.
I mean,
and if you knock that over, I am going to.
We'll see if the Coke can is here by the end of the episode. We'll keep a tracker of it.
Right.
But also with the school lunch, we have 4 children in the grade school.
You're really coming at the podcast with riveting content again today.
I think we have parents who also order school lunches. So we also we only order on days that all the kids agree.
No, that's not true. You let the girls dictate whatever they want. So the boys
they have to all agree.
Would desperately like to order cheeseburgers, but because the girls say no, you don't order cheeseburgers. But if the boys don't want something and the girls want it, they just have to suck it up.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is. #mac and cheese.
Well, because on our calendar, I just write school lunch. So I don't want to put like boys school lunch.
That's fine. I understand that.
Like boys school lunch, girls not school lunch.
It's too confusing. You got to eat it. The end. That's your lunch.
Yeah, but then they're just going to throw it away. Let's be honest about it. That's wasting money. They're just going to throw it away.
Yes, you have very.
So we don't order on that day. No, entitled would be if we just ordered school lunch. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
Because some people do that. Entitled would be if I just let them just go to school and pay for food and they just throw it away.
Right.
But remember during COVID, we didn't have to worry about this. Remember that one year they just got it for free?
That was amazing. That was amazing.
And there was so much school waste.
That was amazing.
The school email was like, hey guys, we're seeing a lot of wasteful food.
Right, because kids would just throw it out.
Kids would just like throw it away.
Right.
Kids would just throw it away.
Right.
So the school email was like, hey, if you guys can like make sure the kids don't take food that they're not going to eat.
That was amazing. My sister's district, my sister teaches and our kids go to school in a low end district and they get every meal. They get breakfast and lunch. And then if they want, they can pick up boxes of dinner.
Well, we didn't have that. When I was in school, you had the list, right? So there was kids on free and reduced.
Yes, that is very looked down upon now.
So reduced is you just pay less. So instead of paying like $2, you pay like 50 cents.
Yeah.
And free was you just didn't pay for it. So they had a list. So you get up to the cash register and you would give them your name and they would check your name on the list to see if you were on the list.
Right.
But that wasn't that was a negative thing. It was just like, oh, those kids
now that is shaming, so you cannot do it.
Really?
100%. There's no list.
Oh, it was like a sheet of paper. So they'll check you and say, yep.
No.
Interesting. So
anyway, USA.
Yeah, the hockey team. Spoiler alert.
USA. 4 of the 5 people on the ice.
5 of them.
There were 5 people on the ice in the overtime.
Oh, I thought you were talking about from Michigan.
No, 4 of the 5 people on the ice were from Michigan.
Oh, there was 5 players, I think, from Michigan.
Right, but 4 out of the 5 players that were on the ice in the winning goal were from Michigan.
There's only 4 players on the...
I include the goalie, honey.
That's 4. During overtime, there's only 4 players.
Including the goalie?
Correct.
There's only 3 players? Okay.
3 skaters and 1 goalie.
Maybe they were all...
So you're making a
Somebody said 4. Somebody said 4 to 5.
Maybe they switched out. Maybe they switched out a player.
I don't know. I thought it was...
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so
doesn't
there's
matter.
many Michigan was well represented in the
hockey for sure. Yes.
and they won the gold medal. I would
Boys
say
and girls.
that would be the only hockey game I watched this entire year.
Do you remember, somebody posted this and it made me recall, do you remember at some point last year, maybe even though it had to be last year, the USA and Canada played and Canada booed our national anthem. And so I just already saw the reels coming out of like, ladies and gentlemen, start your engines, and like all the clips of us demolishing them.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that we don't watch hockey at all.
We're not hockey watchers.
At all.
Although we locked in today really well.
That's what I'm saying. That would be the one game I watch. Like, only time we watch hockey is either the U.S. is in like the gold medal game,
or if the Red
Wings make it to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, that would be the only time.
That is when we'll watch. Because I would say I've not watched a hockey game probably since the Red Wings were in the Stanley Cup in like 2009.
Me too. However, it was fun today. And I was very impressed with the goalie. It's not a sport I would ever watch regularly. Weirdly enough, though, I'm going to a high school hockey game on Monday, too. So like,
that sounds terrible.
I'm living the hockey dream right now.
But we have listeners who are like hockey moms.
Do we?
Who do the hockey life.
Hockey listener moms? I don't think we do.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Aubrey McNamara. I think she listens.
Does she listen to sometimes?
I thought she listens sometimes.
She listens sometimes. I don't think she's a regular listener.
No, I'm saying we have people. We have people who are listening.
She's all hockey all time.
That's a hockey group.
Yeah. We are not.
No, like hockey, not at all. But we watched it today. We got home from mass, went to 8 o'clock mass.
Well, we've had a great. Well, let's just recap. And I don't want to talk too long about it, honey.
It's fine. Just talk. Like,
I don't want to talk.
Stop trying. See, every episode we do this thing where you're like, I don't want to talk at all about anything. I just want to
say that we ended basketball season. We've ended 4th grade, 9th grade, and 6th grade basketball season. So that felt really good to be done with basketball. Yesterday, I felt really good. Our final game of the team that we didn't really enjoy this year, not because of coaches, not because of players, it's just a bad combination, our 6th graders team. We ended and...
Are you switching subjects?
No, I'm talking about the same thing. The 6th grade team.
You're taking a long way to get... We were talking about hockey.
No,
and you just went to the end of the season.
Sure, yes, I am, because I'm gonna get
there.
So
we're all trying to get there.
Just be with me here.
Okay.
So John Paul's team for the last game played a set of 3rd graders, so that was awkward. So
I wish I could show the picture to people. It was like wild. The entire. Because we have like an undersized team, right. But our team was taller. Like 99%. There was one tall kid, but all our kids were like taller than the other team.
These kids could not have been the same age. But it was you that said that maybe they just pulled a lot of kids together for one team.
Yeah, we played Holy Redeemer in Detroit.
So to tie it back to hockey, so we had a lot of games this week to end out each season, and then we watched a lot of Pistons too. So we've been watching the Pistons. We watched the Pistons beat the Knicks, which was an awesome game. And then last night we watched the Pistons too. So I would say we have now adjusted from becoming people that drop their kids off at sports. I think you and I are going to lock in on the Pistons now. We're ready.
Yeah, I told my brother. He called me a bandwagon. But I said, a lot of people wait until after the All-Star break, first off. Second, we've been busy. I was like, we just haven't been watching games.
Actually don't ever need to watch a losing team. Like, even when Michigan is like losing all their games, that's not fun. The Pistons now are good, and it's super fun to watch. Yeah. And I really like them. I really like them a lot.
So that's your connection back to hockey, is just that now we can watch.
Yeah, now we're watching sports.
But we're only going to watch one hockey game.
So basically, I'm saying that all we've done at home since our sports seasons have ended is watch sports, because also U of M played yesterday too. So now we've transitioned to watching it at locations to watching in the comfort of our home.
Yes, we watched Michigan lose to Duke.
Right.
And then we watched the Pistons demolish the Bulls.
I will say,
we watched hockey this morning.
Yeah, my favorite thing in the world occurred last night, where all the kids slept in my room, and I love that.
But they were terrible, and you kicked them out halfway through. So
I had to kick them out multiple times, and they kept coming back for more. They kept coming back for more. No, but they all did sleep here. Like, it was sweet. I love waking up in the middle of the night, and all the kids are in the room, and all I think about is that if an asteroid was to hit our home, I would be completely content when all of my kids are in my room.
No, but Bruce Willis would push the button and then destroy the asteroid, and we'd all be fine.
What reflections do you have as your first season as a losing coach? We thought you were going to be a winning coach.
Season. No.
I don't know.
Winning season. We were 4-3.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, because we had this episode where we were like, "Oh my gosh, we are the best," and then
we were 4-3.
From that episode on, you lost every game.
That was a winning season. No, we had a 2-game losing streak, but one's not fair because one team chickened out and didn't play us the weekend of Valentine's.
Oh,
we were supposed to play St. Pat's. We were supposed to play St. Pat's, and they kept going back and forth because they didn't want to come out to DC in the morning. So I call that a forfeit.
Right. Well,
So
I'm
I
going to
would
say
call
to
that
you
5-3.
I will say
they
to
quit.
you, because I have nothing but sour grapes. I do get really bitter about certain things. This is a flaw of mine. I am not saying that it is character building. It is a flaw of mine. When we go out to the really rich schools, and I don't want to name the school this week. We've named it in the past so people could deduce it. There's a high school that's very, very wealthy, and then there's a grade school that's very, very wealthy. And I am surprised how scrappy I get and like angry at these schools of super wealth. Particularly, we got creamed. Your fourth grade team got creamed on
They played very
Wednesday.
tough.
No, they
until the
didn't
end of
play.
it.
These kids were not kids that are playing CYO basketball. These kids are clearly kids that play on a 10U. What do you call it? What do you call the travel? What do you call the basketball?
Just travel league.
Like travel league. Like
Yeah.
these kids were like the fourth graders were like bouncing the basketball between their legs, behind their back. Like this was not. It was like as dumb as us playing third graders.
Well, all teams are not equal,
Right.
So.
But this was not even, it's not even not equal. Like, I don't mind when some teams have better talent and crush you. That's exciting. That's fun. It is not an even playing field when you have these teams that play AAU, is what I'm thinking of, AAU together, and then join up on a CYO team together. It was a slaughtering. Your daughter had like a little
John Paul did that to this other team too.
Right. No, as I'm saying, yeah. But my response to that, like this particular school, I think feels proud that they dominate basketball because they have their AAU teams. My response to Saturday's game with John Paul, I was embarrassed. I don't think we should have picked up that game. I think it's not fair. It ended up being cute because our coaches, thank God, coached it properly and told our boys to completely back off. Our boys weren't allowed to steal. They weren't allowed to block. They weren't allowed to go up. You know what I mean? So our coaches managed it well, and we still won. What was the score?
Like 28 to 3, 25 to 5 or something.
Yeah. And our coaches like backed off the total play.
Yeah.
I don't like stuff like that. We shouldn't have picked up that game. We shouldn't have been playing third graders and sixth graders. And we shouldn't have to play AAU teams as a CYO team. I actually hate that stuff. But I'm saying it's a character flaw of mine.
But it's hard because what do you...
Right. I know.
It's difficult.
Well, what I said about this team that we played on Saturday, John Paul's team, it was a team in the city. And like, they probably don't have a lot of teams to play against. So you want to go play them. But they should have had our fourth grade team play them. That way it would have been competitive. Like, it was just wild. It was wild. Yeah. I am very glad. All you're hearing in the bitterness in my voice is that it is time to take a pause from.
Well, the good news for our listeners is that like this will probably be our last discussion
Somebody
about sports.
Somebody was like, thank God. Somebody said that. So we can finally talk about something else on the podcast.
Well, we talk about our lives. So this is. Well, also, we have a lot of listeners who are sports parents.
I wouldn't say a lot. I mean, can you calm down with yourself?
When we see people at school who talk about our podcast, they're also sports families.
Yeah.
So,
I had a hard time at the game, which is super interesting. I was talking to some of my high school athletes about that.
We had like half our team fall apart during the game.
But Mia's nerves, it was super interesting. And I felt like the Holy Spirit, I know you think this is dumb, but I felt like the Holy Spirit was really in it because she started crying on the bench. She wasn't getting buckets. Again, she couldn't do anything against this team. And she's used to being like a hero, right? So she starts crying on the bench and says that she's sick. I think both you and I know that she's not sick, but it felt very real to her. Her stomach was hurting, but her stomach was hurting because of nerves. So I took her outside and I put my arms on her and we were doing big, deep breaths in and out. And she's like, Mom, I really want to go home. I want to go home right now. And I was about 10 seconds from being like, well, if you're sick, let's go home. But I did feel like this inkling from the Holy Spirit to be like, don't do that. And so I'm like, actually, no. What we're going to do is you're going to take a breath and you're going to go back in there and you're going to play sick. And that's okay. You can feel strong because you're playing sick. And like, if you're sick and you're playing, that's a good thing to be proud of. And so she went in and she played and it was fine. And she scored a couple buckets. It was a disaster of a game. But in the car ride home, we were talking about it because she was having a hard time acknowledging that it was nerves and not an actual sickness. And then I said to her, the good thing is, Mia, you played through it. So next time when your nerves try to make your tummy hurt, they're going to know that they're not going to stop you from playing. You're going to push through. So it ended up being a really cool, teachable moment. My high school basketball players were proud of me. My high school girl basketball players for how I handled it, because they all said too, these high school girls, that they feel a lot of pressure. You have these games that feel.
Well, I think part of that was she hyped this game up. Yep. So remember,
we hyped it
the last time we played this team, we lost, but she wasn't there. So I think we had hyped up this game. It was the last game of the season. It's the team that beat us. So
Revenge.
I think it was a lot of pressure. And then also at the beginning of the game wasn't going well. So I think it's just the combination of all those factors, and she had never experienced something like that before.
So I thought that was it was a good teachable moment to be like, you will get nervous. Like I remember when I used to have to do speeches, because now I do like retreats and stuff for a living. You actually get physically sick.
I get nervous.
Yeah. So I said to her, I was like, I'm not saying it's pretend that your tummy hurts. It hurts, but it's not.
It's not enough to, and also it's like with 2.1, you can't quit on your team. Like you can't just be like, I'm just going to go home.
Yeah.
Like you have to, even if you feel sick.
Even if you're sick. Yep. That's what I said to her. Yep.
And 2 is, like you said, I do talk sometime, and you do feel nervous, but once you start, like it all goes away.
Well, she was smiling by the end of the game, and I was really proud of her. Yeah. So I'm really proud of her for going back in the game. So apparently
your daughter Julia wants to play.
Julia does want to play, and you're a jerk.
What?
Because she wants you to coach her, and you said no. You're coaching her team,
That's not
bro.
what I meant. I can help. I'm not going to be like the main. I can't be the main guy. Like I can help if they want that.
Right.
But I can't be like the main
guy.
But
you can't coach for only Mia.
No, I can do double duty.
And Juju's going to work on her dribbling. If she can dribble, there are short kids that are good at basketball.
But remember, we're 1 year removed from her crying every single week for the Sacred Heart. I think people remember it. Every single Saturday, she would cry and say, "Don't make me go."
So I think
you told me only 5 weeks. This is the 4th week. 1 more week, right? She would cry every single week. So we were like, basketball's not going to happen.
Right. So she made a couple Papa shots, and I think she's feeling herself now. So she feels like since she made Papa shots, she can play basketball. So we'll see.
But yeah, we're done. Like our oldest, he beat Lakeshore High School.
Yeah, he played terrible too. Like it was just all of our kids played terrible this week. I did ask a couple of the varsity kids, the high school varsity kids, if they think he's good enough to make JV. They feel like if he continues working the off season, he can make JV. This AAU thing is a beast though, because part of me literally wants to put him on an AAU team. I know we would never do it. I mean, I even mentioned it. You shake your head. But it is very obvious to me he will not play his senior year and he loves basketball. If he's not on an AAU team, he won't.
Well, he's got to practice. The good thing is that like we have a basketball room in our driveway.
But even with practicing, it was funny. So our varsity team is going into districts this week, our boy varsity team. The starters are all AAU kids. The bench players are not. When they put in their bench players, it is like a different team. Like their starters are.
My point is not impossible. Like it's like if you want to make the team, you have to practice. And I think that he has YouTube. Like we have access to figure out drills, to figure out conditioning, to figure out all the stuff he has to do. Is like you.
But my point is, I don't know if you can actually start and not play AAU because it takes it up a level. Now that said, one thing that I think could really work in his advantage is if he does go to the rec center a lot and plays up. So you're playing with kids that are better than you. That's what he needs, and I think that's what AAU does. So he had an okay season. I think he's very much average on the basketball team. Like he's consistent. He's not at all a superstar, but he's not.
Well, I just think some of that is just like you need to practice dribbling. He needs to practice shooting. So like when you have opportunities, you need to be able to
capitalize,
to show like you can shoot the ball pretty well. And you have.
He did say to me though, it was really interesting. He said, "If you let me do AAU, I won't do football." But we're not going to do it. But his heart is basketball. Is what I
because it's being unfair because it sets up unrealistic expectations.
100%. I'm not, but I did think that was interesting that he would prefer basketball over football. Like it's his number one love. So. That's fun. I like basketball.
Yeah.
So then I had shared on social media that we were moving into no spring sports, and his football coach was like, "There's lifts. Don't forget that." And I'm like we'll still do lifts and things like that. They'll do conditioning off season, but we don't have to go to any competitions on the weekends. That's what's exciting.
Well, and also a lot of those lifts are done by like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, lifts are great.
It's not like getting out of practice at like remember Thursday night.
Basketball's brutal.
They practice after the high school girls game, and then it was like 9:45.
Yeah, basketball's brutal. It's because all these teams are using the same gym. So
basketball's the 3 months. Like we started with basketball. If our listeners remember, like football is intense for 2 months. It's from right before Labor Day, and then you end right before Halloween. So it's 2 months. And the basketball starts right before Thanksgiving, and we're just finishing 3 months later. Mm-hmm. And remember, we had holiday tournaments. So we were playing through. We played through Christmas break. So basketball is a 3 month.
I actually said from the start of August till the beginning of March. You and I.
Yeah, 6 months. So we're on the back half of the year now. So now we're on the back half of not having activities, and like all the kids are done. There's no like Joey. Only thing we have coming is Joey has a concert on. Next Sunday, he has a concert, right.
But and then we get to have our lives back. And so it is funny though how some families thrive in the culture. So like I was saying goodbye to a couple of the basketball friends, and they're like, yep, their baseball.
Especially in baseball,
and there's
they're like, we're not done.
It's wild to me. It's wild. I would never. But I get it. And again, I think some family cultures thrive in it. We're just like, heck to the no, thank you. So anyway,
but also like I said, but I think all the kids want to still do stuff. So I think we can take them to Rec Center.
Yeah.
Heinz Drive has a basketball thing. We can take them there. So it's not like our kids are going to sit around and do nothing. Like we still plan to get, like, they can go to the park. Like we still.
I was talking to my parents about that. Like we don't have kids that sit around in front of screens. Like during muddy days or cold days, we let them be on screens. There's nothing. But like I was talking to my parents about how like you and I feel, I think, like we can parent our kids. So we'll say you turn off screens and go outside and read a book. Like they're not allowed to just sit in front of screens all day long, even if we're not in sports. I think sometimes parents feel like they have to, not all parents, of course, but need to keep their kids in something like every month, every day of every month. Otherwise they'll do nothing. Our kids don't do nothing.
Well, we had some girls on the basketball team who were like, I only play basketball because my parents make me, or else I have center. Or like there's some kids who play football. Who they're only on the team because their parents like, you have to do something. So
right.
Even the kids, but our kids want to, like they're active. Yeah,
I wouldn't make my kids play sports.
They're active in the things that they want to do.
I'd make them do something, like meaning they have to be in a club or something. Like they can't do nothing. But I would never force my kids to play sport. I don't even get that culture if they don't want to.
I would try. I mean, it's like you got to find something. So
do something.
Here's a list of all the things. Yeah. Like pick a thing, but you can't sit around on screens all day long.
Correct.
So we're into the season of nothingness, apparently watching some Pistons
all day or a day. We are, I think 41. I'm checking now, either 41 or 40 days away from our family vacation.
We'll be at the end of Lenten season. So I follow it.
Yeah.
So I think we just started Lent on Wednesday.
Let's talk about that really quick. How is Lent going for you? Started really strong with not going to Ash Wednesday Mass. Well played. I mean, bro.
I wasn't able to.
You could have gone to 6:30 Mass. You could have gone to 8
Mia had a
mass.
game. 6:30
a.m. You could have gone. I mean, I could have given you 400 options. But
there is no way I can go. I can't go to 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, I heard a really good. I watched it was short, but it was good about giving up things because I think both you and I are trying to go pretty intense this Lent. But with the idea that we're getting ready for Easter, so we'll be able to celebrate Easter on vacation, but. It was talking about how you give up good things for greater things. And I thought that was really good. Like it's this idea of delayed satisfaction, you know what I mean? But then giving up good things for greater things. So.
Well, I think a lot of people struggle with telling themselves no.
Oh, 100. Yeah. You know,
so it's good practice in the beginning of the year to deny yourself and realize that like, you're not going to die. Like you can go without these things. Like
I detest denying myself.
Like sugar, alcohol,
television, TV,
screens,
right.
So people say no to swearing or I don't know. There's many things, but it's a good practice of just like that's.
Well, it's funny. So me and the girls gave up screens, but there's a caveat in that if you're watching something and I'm in the room, I don't have to like leave the room. So, but all of my shows that I watch, and I watch a lot of shows, you know me, like I'm just not watching them and at nighttime, not trying to watch, but now I keep telling them like, hey, maybe we should watch Traitors tonight. Don't you want to watch Traitors? And you are not helping me out with that. You're like, nope, I don't want to watch Traitors. In fact,
I'm trying to keep you to it. Lynn started. So.
And then we'll and Lent, and then on Good Friday, after the Good Friday service, we will jump on an airplane and go to Florida.
It seems very far away, though.
It's not far away, bro. 40 days is not far away. I'm pumped, but I'm super excited about that vacation.
So we're in Lent.
Yep.
Lenten season. So we're reminded of no meat on Fridays, which I think most people are like, what the heck do I eat?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck do we eat on Fridays?
So I don't think it's hard for you and I. I actually think it's really hard to feed kids school lunch. So I asked you to.
Well, lucky most of the time at school they have pizza. So, or I think grilled cheese sandwiches. So I think that helps out. But kids' lunches, if you're not doing.
If your kids are like kind of picky, annoying like ours.
Yeah, if you're not doing like chicken or sandwiches, you're like, what? And not a lot of times.
And they're not allowed to have peanut butter. Although I did talk to a rebel. I won't expose them on the podcast.
Name them.
We refuse to. It's just like we send our kids peanut butter sandwiches every day. at our school. They're like, we don't care. Like, and I was like, whoa. I was like, that is rebellious. Because actually not being able to make peanut butter sandwiches, I like how St. Mike's did it. Listen, if you're listening and you have an allergy kid, you are not going to like what I'm about to say. St. Mike's had a peanut butter free table, and kids were allowed to eat peanut butter sandwiches. I don't love not allowing peanut butter. I understand that allergy people cannot handle when I say something like that, and I understand how insensitive it sounds, but I like a peanut butter free table, and kids can bring in peanut butter.
Yes, because like you said, with picky eaters, it's very tough to send your kids to school with meals.
Also, it's just easy.
And peanut butter is very easy.
Like,
especially when you're younger,
exactly.
Like all kids like it,
right?
And it's an easy, like, here's it, make a sandwich,
here you go,
sandwich, and
yeah. So, but our school is, you're not allowed to bring peanut butter, but apparently some families are just like, I'm doing it.
Even if there's no like peanut allergies in the classroom,
you're not allowed to bring peanut butter, like,
because it's like in the air. It's like it's like COVID. It's like it's like in the atmosphere, and there's peanut butter.
And I get it. I honestly, I say that, and I'm not. I get that for those that have this particular allergy, especially for young kids, it's very scary. Like, I had a friend who was like, her son had an anaphylactic whatever on the bus, and anaphylactic reaction. I mean, he could have died. You know what I mean? So now you're sending your second grader to a building knowing that if he gets exposed to something, it could be life threatening. So I'm not, it's
the happy medium, right?
That's why I like a good peanut butter free table. But alas, the people do not like
with
that.
A big sign over it.
Yeah, and I like the lines having to be on a list if you would like to have your lunch paid for. I just want to go back to the 80s. It worked for me. I'm just kidding, people. Please don't
Speaking
cancel
of 80s, I'm going to be on a podcast next week, and the person interviewing me asked me about my favorite 80s movie.
What'd you say?
What is yours? What would be your favorite?
I forgot. There's no option.
I forgot about that.
Or Dead Poet Society, but I don't know if that was 90s or 80s.
I think that was early 90s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I said
I think that's like 90 or 91.
Red Dawn. No option.
Yeah.
What about you?
What's top three then?
Red Dawn.
80s? 80s.
I mean, my parents didn't let us watch a lot of stuff. I'm not even being weird. So, like, I can get some 90s movies. 80s, I can think of Red Dawn. There was a movie called Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme. and
I think that counts.
And Lionheart. I remember watching this movie called Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, that's a different one.
And I actually remember thinking to myself as I went to bed, like, thinking, I wish he was my dad. Like,
is Bloodsport when he did the splits and like...
Yeah.
And he punched...
Yeah. We were allowed to watch that.
Is that the one when his friend died?
So that might be Lionheart. I get them confused.
He had like five... There was one with the guy who played an ogre from Revenge of the Nerds, and like he got killed by like the Japanese guy.
Yeah, we should try to watch them with our kids. So I didn't watch
watched him as he like killed his friend.
Like the Princess Bride, all that kind of business. I didn't like it. We weren't allowed to... Wait, would My Girl be considered 80s?
No, that's 90s.
No, so I don't know. Yeah, so what would you say favorite 80s movie? You were like a baby. What are you talking about? You're like 4.
But I rented movies a lot.
Okay, so what would you say your favorite 80s movie is? Oh, you know what else? Flight of the Navigator, which we tried to show our kids, and they just would not watch it.
Our kids were
I love that movie,
Flight of the Navigator. We got into right when the spaceship took off. They're like, Dad, I'm done.
Those who know. Did you watch that when you were little, or were you watching it?
No, I remember watching it. I didn't remember the plot, though, because I remember we watched it with the kids.
I did.
I was like, I remember Sarah Jessica Parker's in it.
Yes, it's so good.
I don't remember it at all until we watched it with the kids. I don't remember any of this stuff. I remember watching the movie.
So good. I loved it.
And him on the spaceship with the creepy, all the creatures and all that stuff.
You know, when he had to go to the like government housing thing, and he got this room with like you could have whatever you wanted. But
I only remember like the creepy ship.
So good. I should try to see if they can watch it.
I do remember Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you say? Sorry.
So mine was Breakfast Club, Transformers the movie, and probably Back to the Future. But I said Transformers the movie.
Back to the Future is a good one.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is a great one. Our kids like that one.
The Breakfast Club, I remember watching that.
Very scandalous.
But I used to watch like the TBS version. But then one time I remember like renting it. Like the actual one, you realize like this is actually with all the language is very different than watching it like on edited for screens.
So funny. So funny. Yeah, it's a good question. Those movies those are good movies, but we didn't watch a whole lot of movies. I feel like.
So our listeners, please send us in your favorite 80s movie.
And we will not respond to you. Sorry.
So the Malibu Table Podcast at gmail.com. Please send us your 80s movie.
Send us your 80s movies.
I feel like decade. I feel like we have in each decade. I think I can probably pick one or two.
Yeah. I think we talked about this too, like favorite movie of all time, which mine would be Dead Poet Society. I think, I haven't watched it in a long time.
You haven't.
A lot.
You really like
watched
Red
it a long
Dawn.
time.
I thought Red Dawn was just a terrible.
That's the best. It actually it forms so much of my adult thinking. Literally, like that is when I fell in love with disaster
it is
movies.
so bad.
So let me tell you what happened. This is true though. I just thought about it right now.
I think you have
Listen.
I think you have an idea. I think you watched it as a child. If you watch it as an adult,
I watched it as an adult. I still love it. So it's so funny. So I asked my students. I forgot this. This is a funny story that happened just this last, either this week or the week before. I was teaching my students, and when I teach, I walk around the classroom, and when I teach in one classroom that has a row full of windows. And as I was walking, I was talking, and I'm walking towards the windows. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys. I like paused, and I'm like, guys, I'm having this Red Dawn moment.
Come down.
I said this in I'm like, I'm having this Red Dawn moment. Has anyone seen it? And no kids raised their hand. I was like, oh, so what happens in the beginning is the teacher's teaching and starts walking towards the window, and then is just killed in front of the classroom. And all my kids are like, what are you talking about? So I had a Red Dawn.
It is a very bad movie.
It's so good.
But a lot of the fame is like, a lot of like Charlie Sheen's in it, Leah Thompson, Jennifer Grey, Patrick Swayze, all the big 80s.
A lot of people died. Do we want to talk about the deaths of everybody?
Yeah. McSteamy died.
I don't care about McSteamy. Oh, we already talked about Dawson.
We actually,
sorry. I don't care. No, never mind. We don't need to talk about that.
Remember there was a meme out there, like if your favorite shows were like Dawson's Creek and
Schitt's Creek and Grey's Anatomy. You're having a rough week.
Your life is having a rough couple weeks.
Having a rough couple weeks.
He had ALS and he died as well. Some more deaths.
So what else? What's coming up?
We talked about AI. Should we talk about AI briefly?
You and I disagree so deeply that I just don't know if I want to get into it today.
You're just very boomer when it comes to it.
I'm super boomer. I read this article that I had told you about. Well, first of all, I sometimes show you the stupidity of my kids when it comes to the assignments that they turn in with AI. Like last semester, somebody left the prompt in there, like, "Dear ChatGPT, what should I write for this?" And they actually left it in their essay. But then this semester, somebody turned in, it was like 8 questions on this reading. And like, they obviously put the questions into the ChatGPT generator, and it spat back out the questions just reworded. But what's amazing is I make my students handwrite everything, because I'm like, if you're going to cheat, at least you're going to handwrite it. And so this student actually hand wrote these nonsensical answers. I was cracking up. Then came into my class.
No, that's the best part is they deny it.
Yes,
even when it's obvious, they wholeheartedly deny it.
Literally.
Until you call them out and they're like, okay, I cheated.
Literally came into my class because I had given her a detention or given the student a detention, and I was like, let's chat about that. Literally came in, it's like, "Miss Wilkerson, I did not cheat." I'm like, let me tell you. I was laughing. That's how ridiculous your cheating was. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I showed them. They're like, "Oh, okay."
But it's like the doubling down on the lies.
Well, what I had shared on Instagram though is it's not only putting in prompts anymore. So it's like a prompt for an essay, but then after you get the essay written, then you say to AI, you take that essay, you put it in, and say, "Please spit this back out like I'm a 9th grader with a B average with mistakes." Like you can ask ChatGPT to actually edit it down so that it looks
reading level. Like there's apps out there, like there's an app that I use called like Hemingway app, and there's ways in which when you write stuff, it tells you the grade level, right? So if you write something too complicated, like you're at a 12th grade level, so it can connect like the grade levels when you write. Well,
I have to.
So if you say 9th grade, it knows that a 9th grade level will be these. This is kind of how it's stupid. Worded.
So I find AI. I don't see any. Like, I'm not like you, and I'm not like people I know. I see no good to it. I do see it as the collapse of our society. There's no way around it, by the way. I understand that. So I'm not like, stop it from happening. You actually can't backtrack like technological advances. That doesn't work out. So I'm not that person, but I'm also like, it's just so freaking depressing. Whereas you see good in it. You're like, education needs to be revamped to make it make sense.
No, I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying like trying to fight against things that are inevitable is like a losing battle. Right. So my thing is you modernize and you adjust to it.
Right. So you'd like all teachers to like figure out how to teach.
No. So instead of like banning it, like you figure out like, cause like this is the new normal. Like AI is here. We're going to be, even adults use these tools. Like, so it's like, how do you use these tools to understand the competency, to understand the concept. So how do you adjust the curriculum or the assessment to say, how does the student prove that they understand what you're trying to teach them? So instead of saying, "Hey, write me an essay," and they bring it to you, like like we said, you may have to write the essay by hand in class if you're trying to get them to show, or like you have oral exams,
right,
and you ask them questions back and forth,
That's
or let them show the prompt. Like, okay, if you want, like, it's like Wikipedia. I remember I was in college when Wikipedia came out, and at the time, remember, everyone said you couldn't use Wikipedia as sources. Like, it was like you had to go to the library. You had to, you cannot use Wikipedia.
Which is stupid to think about now.
Right. It's similar to that, though.
I know.
Because now it's like, yeah, you can use Wikipedia as a source, but back then you couldn't use that.
Well, it's funny. I had told you, and I do like this. I'm actually going to take it into my classroom this week. I had told you that my students right now are presenting a presentation where they're taking Catholic social teaching and comparing country governments to see how well they do and then rating the government. Yeah. So at first I was talking to my coworker about it. My coworker's like, yeah, they can't use ChatGPT. And I'm like, well, I actually don't see a difference between using ChatGPT and using Google. Like, these kids aren't doing a deep dive in the political structures of Venezuela. Yes. Like, they need some short, but what you said about that. So I told kids, you can use ChatGPT for your research because this is a presentation. So you have to synthesize what it's saying and you have to present it. So, and the kids are really thrown off. They're like, Miss Wilkerson, like, that's ridiculous that you're telling us we can use it here, but not other places. I'm like, no, listen, like, this is about presenting. But then you brought up a really great point that on Monday, there's the last work day for this presentation. And I'm going to say, I'm going to ask you questions based on your presentation. 100%. So use all the ChatGPT you want, but make sure you understand what ChatGPT is saying to you. Because if I ask you a question, what your 2 sentences just meant, and you can't tell it back to me, you're getting points off. So
that's how when you think about it, how do you test to make sure that someone comprehends something?
Right.
You can give them a written exam, which is kind of regurgitating facts, or you can actually ask them questions and make them speak it back to you, or like show that they comprehend it by conversation and like going, like, that's how you prove that they understand.
Well, and I'll tell you, my coworker who writes our curriculum, I've told you a million times, he has written an exceptional curriculum for morality. Like, I love the curriculum I'm teaching from, and he does do oral exams twice during the semester, and I think it's great. Like, they come in as a group, they have to answer, they have to add to people, and it's a good way to kind of counter this. Your point is that you just have to be more creative. My point is that's really hard for a boomer, quote unquote, to try to learn different ways to assess, and it's tricky. It's hard. It's education right now is changing so rapidly.
Yes.
And like I told you, especially within my field of study, which is theology, I think it's important that kids wrestle with texts and think about text and read deep reflections and know how to do that versus the Cliff Notes version. You know what I mean?
But I would say in that situation, then, yeah. So in the classroom, you give them a text and say, read this text. And then for the next half hour, write down what you think about this, how you grasp it. I think the problem is the take home part. I think is that you have to know that if you allow kids to leave the classroom and take something and bring it back to you, they're going to use, but that's my point is that's human nature though. Like, if you ask someone, they're going to find the least, they're going to do it in the least amount of effort that they can and make it the simplest way they can make it.
Which is why it's really hard to counter, which is why so many like really good kids are getting caught for academic dishonesty right now, because it's so accessible. It's like almost ridiculous to ask them not to do it. I acknowledge that. Do you know what I mean? But in my classroom, my kids know, like, when they walk into the classroom, their iPads go under their desk. My kids take handwritten notes. Because I think there's value in it, not because I want to be an ancient dinosaur, but like other people, right? Like, I create slides, and some teachers will let kids be on their iPads with the slides open and then be taking notes with the slides. But I know for darn sure what you're going to be doing is watching YouTube while I'm lecturing then. And I don't have time to monitor that to do what's best.
Yeah, that's different. That's like, you're trying to make sure you have their attention.
Yeah, and it's good for them to like know how to take notes on paper.
I forgot the kids have YouTube.
Oh, it's stupid. I mean, what's wild to me, and there are some teachers that they don't apologize for it. They're like, I'm not monitoring their screens. These kids are old enough. If they want to sit on YouTube and can still pass my class, I don't care. But my point is there's like disciplines that are important to learn. And so I'm trying to do that in my classroom too. But AI just freaks me right out. You see so many benefits of it, I think, and you're not afraid of it at all.
Well, we have to. In my world, we have to embrace it. Like, people are asking about it. Like, technology is expanding quickly. There's billions of dollars being invested in this stuff. So we have to learn how. We can't just tell people, no, you can't use it, or we don't like. Like, the problem is there's a difference between personal beliefs and like professional beliefs. And to me, it's kind of like, I won't say I don't care, but like, your personal beliefs about this don't matter.
Right.
Like, if you're working for a company, you have to act in the best interest of the company that you work for and get a paycheck for.
Sure.
So if we're like, we need to take advantage of this to keep up with things, and like that's the strategy. I don't care. You're like, well, I think this is the death of society. It's like, okay, that's great, but like you work for this company, we give you a paycheck, so like you have to, like we have to keep up with the stuff. You can't just ignore it.
The other thing I had said to a coworker who loves AI, and man, this guy is all in it. Like he just loves it, and we've had conversations, and he's a person of faith. And I said, I think what AI is going to force us to do, which I think is actually a really beautiful thing, it's going to force us as humanity to really wrestle with what is fundamentally human. Because what the church has always taught is your ability to provide something for me is not where your worth rests, right? Like you are good because you were created by God. That's it, full stop, right? So the utilitarian of like, what is your use? And that makes you valuable. AI is going to replace a lot of use. Well, so then it strips away what is not essential to human life, human connection, human community, faith, reason. Like it's going to strip it all away, you know?
It's value in the marketplace. Yeah. So there are a lot of, but AI is not like, it's just the latest, right? There's always these tools and technologies that come in and change your value in the marketplace. So someone may be the world's greatest typist, but at this point, like you don't need to pay someone to go in there and like type papers. We have tools to do that.
But your worth doesn't rest in the fact that you're the fastest typer.
Correct. But I think your value in the marketplace may diminish. Right. That's different.
It's totally. But I think what we've done a lot in terms of dehumanizing people is the value in the marketplace becomes the value of the human person. And so this is going to strip that all the way. Exactly.
People tie like a lot of people tie themselves to their job and say like, I'm so-and-so, this is my job. Because a lot of people have been in the job for 15 or 20 years and they tie themselves to, well, I'm really good at my job. Right. But then they get laid off because the company's like, actually, like, we can replace you with this new technology pretty easily. But and then all of a sudden you wrestle with, well, what do I do now? Like,
and there's something fundamentally truthful that's going to come from this new age, I would say, like in terms of what makes us valuable, what makes you good, what makes you valuable. It's truth, beauty, and goodness, right? What are the things that cannot be done by AI? And as we learn, it's going to be very little things can't be done by AI, but those things are sacred.
Correct. So I think the marketplace will always go towards the fastest, the cheapest, and like, the quickest way to get something done. We also have to remember that, think about your modern life, like people who order food from DoorDash, like that's technology. People who don't, like some people, when's the last time you went to a movie theater? You don't, because now we have streaming platforms. You don't buy DVDs anymore. Like we lean on these different tools and technologies, but you have to remember when you do that, most likely someone's like losing their job.
Sure.
Like, there's tons of movie theaters that close down.
Yeah, but there's no reason not. There's no reason not to do it, and it makes me think actually to bring it back to that like theological rooting, like what are we made for? And the church's response to that is we are made to know, to love, and to serve God. We are actually made for worship. That is our fundamental function. Which is, AI will never be able to worship. Do you know what I mean? So like it is going to strip down, I think in the next 10 years, it's scary. It is what it is. I'm more scared of it than you are. Like we are going to, I think, be stripped down to what essentially makes us who we are. And it is to know, love, and serve God. Nothing else. Nothing else matters.
I think it pushes people to in-person connections.
Yep.
Like, and that's what I think people like.
It should. You hear it doesn't necessarily though, honey.
No, I'm saying like it's the people who are paying attention. Like that's, for example, my nerd group, like that was the whole point of it, is that modern technology has pulled people away from like the workplace. So I think I won't say there's loneliness, but like there's a feeling of isolation and loneliness, and people crave human-to-human interaction. Think about COVID. Like the COVID was people were by themselves and they wanted to get back together. So the AI will just, it will continue to exacerbate like this loneliness epidemic and like this feeling of,
but then it will also help people like when they go to your little data nerd events. Do you know what I mean? These are people that are with people in meetings all day long. Like, why are you going to a meeting at 6:00 in Royal Oak, a meetup with other people who do the same job? It's because you want human connection.
Because I crave loneliness.
And you want human connection. So I think about like the middle school kids. And this is where I say though, like we have to be careful because like there's middle school kids that are creating whole social communities based on chatbots. Like these are people that they're legit talking to at the end of the day.
Well, and it goes back to your point about assessment from like to have a student stand up and say something out loud and have to defend, like that is a trait that is hard, that you have to do. You have to learn how to do that, because if you're just if everything's digital, right? These kids don't have textbooks anymore. Everything's on
Right.
their tablets. They watch
Right.
videos on their tablets.
Right.
All the assessments are digital. Like having to stand up in front of a group of people and talk out loud in
Yeah.
front of a group and say what you feel and defend that. Like that is that's a skill that kids need to learn how to do. And you can't do that with AI or any technology.
But there's also something invigorating about it. It's like when you know that you're actually in the realm of truth, beauty, and goodness, like what is true, what is good, and what is beautiful, your soul comes alive. Like it connects your soul. So like there can be a lot of imitations for those things, like the middle schooler that's talking in the chat box, or the guy that works in intelligence and never leaves his home and sits in his office. When he goes to a meetup, it feels good. When a middle schooler can connect with a human being, they see the difference. In theory, that's if we trust that God's truth is truth. So, but I do think it's going to be a bit of a reckoning over the course of the next 10 years.
I think we've kind of reset. Like I would say reset. Like we're kind of back in the early 2000s, like trying to figure out this new world.
Right.
And if young people ask us what was like if our kids ask like what was the internet like, it's like it's like right now with AI, like, everyone's talking about it. We're all trying to figure it out. Some people are using it, some people aren't.
Like it's crazy to think that our kids will never know the Dewey Decimal System. Like I'm not even kidding. They will never know pulling out a big long drawer and then checking the number under a subject and
for a research paper, like trying to have to go to the library and cite resources.
They're not even going to know it. Like it won't be something that they're like, oh, our parents once did. It's going to be a forgotten piece of history, except for like real historian nerds. Like in AI, our kids won't even know the world that we know now, where you can't find every answer at the snap of a finger based on a search engine.
Or you have to do things on your own. Like even thinking about like us in terms of if I want to write something, I have to before these like 3 years ago, like I had to sit down, I had to type out all these things, I had to proofread it. They won't know a world where like I can't just say to something, hey, create this, create this email for me, add these points, and then give it to me in 2 seconds. Or take this huge text and summarize this for me, give me bullet points. Like that is that's only the past 3 years. Like ChatGPT came out, I think October 2022. Right. So even that's a 3-year phenomenon. Wild, before that,
it's wild.
People had to write things and create their own. So I think it's going to speed up the creation. But again, of things.
You still have to modify. But you still have to modify about your job. You still think your job is relevant?
No, because
I do worry about that for you.
I would say if I'm a fresh student out of college, I would be worried because a lot of the entry level jobs that were around when I graduated, like a lot of those are gone. Like a lot of the entry level kids are competing with adults who've been in. There's no entry level jobs anymore.
I wonder when we'll feel that economically, right? That like because it's actually getting rid of jobs, and you can't go back. I'm not asking. It
also creates other. It will create other jobs
enough to equal the amount of jobs it's replacing. I can't imagine it will.
No,
it's real wild.
But that displacement's been going on for a long time.
I just think it's accelerated at a rate that's going to be really fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, my job is to
start buying gold. Just to prepare. I'm
gold
serial.
And guns and bullets.
Gold.
No, it's just going to play. But I'm in a different world. Like, I'm in a world where I have to help the company figure out how to use these tools.
Yeah.
I'm in the whole So they're coming to us saying, okay, we want to use this stuff. How do we use these things? Right. So we're in a position where, everyone's learning today. There's no experts because everyone's learning at the same time.
But also, like, what are we going to encourage our kids to study? Like, what are you going to encourage them to do vocationally, if in terms of like a secular just vocation? It's interesting because a lot of things are just not even going to be needed. So it's crazy.
Well, I think they're small, but small businesses aren't using this stuff yet. So I think you have to figure out what companies. There's a lot of companies that do and don't use this stuff. I mean, if you look up and down the street, a lot of the companies in your neighborhood, they're not using AI. They're just still doing the basics, and as long as you have good products and services and attached to your customers.
That's so interesting.
But
interesting stuff.
But you want to end on your Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen story?
I never, ever send stuff that is not true. In fact, I will tell you, I'm going to say this on the podcast. Currently, we have somebody that we know loosely from our circles who paid somebody to like write an article about him that isn't like real, but it like looks official, like he was written up, and you use it to kind of sell yourself or to market yourself. So a lot of people in my family and friends are like sharing this, and I'm like, I'm not even going to share this because I'm not being weird. Like, I actually don't like stuff like that. Like, I need things to be authentic. And so I never share the forwards that are AI. I never share the fake news. I actually don't do that. I pride myself in it. If something seems too good to be true or seems too odd, I don't. But there was a picture of Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen where they looked like they were 87 years old.
Remember, these were the twins from
Full House.
Full House, yes.
And I sent it to you, and I was like, wow, can you believe what they look like? And you responded, you're like, girl, that is not real.
It was obviously fake. When you sent it to me, I was like, it's fake. And you're like, no, it's not fake.
I'm embarrassed.
And I did like a 2-minute search. And like, even on Reddit, they're like, yeah, people are sharing this fake photo of them.
I'm embarrassed.
It didn't even look like them. It was terrible.
I had a couple drinks of alcohol. Maybe it was.
Oh, now you're going to blame the alcohol. Okay.
Maybe I would have known. I was very embarrassed.
Obviously fake.
Can you admit I do not do stuff like that ever?
Until now. You have tried.
I think I've shared the story on the podcast. It's worth sharing again during the whole Trayvon Martin racial piece of stuff. A dear family member who was elderly had sent me and many other people this email forward that was like, you think Trayvon, was his name Trayvon?
Yeah, Trayvon.
Martin?
Yeah, Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin. You think Trayvon Martin was just this sweet little kid? This is what he really looks like. And the email forward had a picture of Game the rapper with like a teardrop tattoo.
A lot of face tattoos.
But like many people were forwarding this as though this actually was this 18-year-old kid. And I'm like, wow. And now I've become that person.
Well, I said, like, if something is like too good to be true, you have to question.
Bro,
someone's like, look how someone looks different. You're like, okay, is this real? Or there's like videos of someone saying something. You're like, okay, can we check if that's actually true or not? Because it doesn't seem right.
I'm ashamed.
You got caught up in it.
I got caught up in it.
You got caught up in
it. It happens to the best of us. So
we'll see if it ever happens to me. But I usually try to double and triple check things before I send it out.
Although you send me such dumb things all day long. So
I send you amazing reels.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah. So a week of nothing. Kids doing lifts. Watching some Pistons games.
Pistons game. I mean, my boys are going. Our hockey boys are going into districts. Our basketball boys
in districts,
and we're going to that game on Friday. So you better just manage yourself. The boys.
It's not even a home. That's if they win, though. They have to win the first game.
They're going to win the first game. They're not nervous.
I don't know, man.
Bro, I don't care what you say.
Fridays are tough for me.
I guess we could stream it. If it streams, I don't mind streaming it. I actually don't mind streaming it. I will absolutely stream it. These boys are so freaking fun to watch. Will you admit it? You went to a game. I was appreciated as a teacher.
Well, they beat up on like some random Christian like high school. Like it was obvious in the first 2 seconds.
Bro, you're making me so mad. You actually looked at me a couple times and you're like, wow. Like they
yeah, there was a couple good plays.
We got this one dude that is.
But the problem is you just don't know till you get to like states. You're like, oh, actually, like there's other teams that are also good.
Well, and I'll tell you, the coach is well aware of that. Like he's like, it is a problem that we have not lost a game. Like he understands that
the kids are smelling themselves.
Yeah. So, and there's only so much you can coach out of that, and you know what I mean. Like you can tell them, but
you've been on these Catholic schools when you start playing the public schools,
right?
It's a different animal.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right.
Till next week.
TT Bio.